Week 5, waiver wire has a league winner inside, but pause, let me explain why this matters so much. See, when you do the draft, everyone thinks that's it. I'm done. Yay, I did fantasy football draft. That's it. No, there's the waiver wire. And what is the waiver wire, you ask? Well, this is where championships are built. See, every week there's a chance for you to patch up the holes that are on your team, or you can steal a value, or you can grab the next breakout that no one else saw coming. And think about it, if you're not taking the waiver wire seriously and someone else in your league is, then you're just falling behind, because that is the small difference of you barely making to the playoffs or you dominating in the brackets. Welcome to the playlist. Thank you for kicking it. I'm Jim Z, and this is Fantasy on Repeat. And today we're going to go through the waiver wire episode, and we're going to talk about the hot camaraderie and the number one running back that everyone needs to go and pick up. That is Woody Marks. Look, there's no timeline for Joe Mixon. He is a dual threat. The coach said he's going to get an increased workload. All the signs were there, and we shouldn't have ignored it, that he is a league winner. So having Woody Marks on your team is very beneficial to you winning your fantasy football league. This is completely different from the Trey Benson situation. He got bumped into the RB1 situation, and maybe he wasn't ready to take on that role. But here, Woody Marks, he showed that he is capable, and honestly, this might be the time where the OGs are starting to fall off, because there is an age cliff that these running backs are hitting. Because look, you got Nick Chubb, you got Derrick Henry, you got Aaron Jones. We have other running backs that got injuries that I'm not going to try to name. It's just, it is the cliff where they start falling off, and these new young guns, this next generation is ready to pop off, and the OGs need to take a seat. Because look, Woody Marks already handled a lot of carries at USC. He's basically primed to be the bell cow there. Joe Mixon, like I said, Joe Mixon's not going to come back. He's already been a dual threat. He's handled a lot of touches. They want this guy as the centerpiece, as the running game. And maybe I'm upset because I dropped Woody Marks for Brock Purdy in my new league with my new coworkers, and I need some help in that league, and I dropped Woody Marks, man. Pain. That's straight pain. So now let's talk about this next running back, Kenneth Gainwell. So this guy all of a sudden went to go get a ring, and now he wants to act brand new. Because look, he broke out. And Kenneth Gainwell is currently the healthier and the more efficient back. He's providing a higher success rate, and it's a possible split between him and Warren now. We'll see after the bye week if Warren can start healing up, but Kenneth Gainwell has shown that, he can be that guy there. So maybe it is true that any running back can fit in the system, and it can be a split backfield now. Maybe it's not Jaylen Warren. The new dump-off king is gone now. My next running back I got is Justice Hill, because look, are the Ravens cooked? Is Derrick Henry cooked? I already said the OGs are starting to fall off. Derrick Henry does fall in that category. But either way, his snap percentage is going up. He scored on the opening drive, and it really looked like it was a design play just for him. And his explosiveness with the ball, he's 96 in the 40th and in the burst score, and he's 83rd in the speed score. So this guy has it all. He has very versatile, and he has the legs to do it. So for week 5, Lamar Jackson already has been ruled out. It's not the Baltimore Lamar Jackson, it's the Baltimore Ravens. So I feel like they can just let Henry chill and let Lamar heal up while they deploy this Justice Hill, which is confusion and mystery, where the defense is like, who's this guy? That's not Derrick Henry. They're going to be so confused, and boom, Justice Hill, keep blowing up. It's going to be a different regime, right? They want to try something different. Because look, Justice Hill had 14 opportunities, including his 133 yards on the kick return. So let's apply that to the offense. And he's worth having eyes on and to stash, because when a team falls 1-4, they have a very low chance to make the playoffs at 5.9%. When you see a 5.9 probability win against your opponent, you're not happy about that, right? So neither are the Baltimore Lamar Jacksons. Another running back that I want to talk about that has juice, who's had the juice, is Kendre Miller. He's been getting a lot of work. He hasn't played a full season due to injuries, and we've never seen his full potential. Alvin Kamara is a possible trade candidate, and the word on the streets is he's going to go to the Chiefs. They obviously can use a guy just like him, and he deserves a ring. So if you look at the first 3 weeks, Kendre Miller was handling a lot of the kick returns. So that was weeks 1, 2, 3, and week 4, no more kick returns, right? All of a sudden. But then what happened to him? He got a little bit more usage in the offense, really starting to use him. So it's possible that he continues to cut into Alvin Kamara's workload to keep him fresh, to ship him off to the Chiefs or wherever he goes. And look, you can get an RB1 on the low right now. The next running back we're going to talk about is Rachaad White. Because look, Bucky may be injured, and this is an elite offense, and 2023 was elite for Rachaad White, even though you can't really go back on 2 years of production. But even last year, in 2024, his production wasn't that bad. You couldn't be upset. He had Bucky Irving on his heels, nipping him the whole time. But now look what happened. He lost his, he lost his role as the RB1 for this team. Now he has a chance to prove that he can be the RB1 again. And look, he has this pent up energy, right? And now he can release it. And this team is way better than what he had 2023, right? This can be a whole different Rachaad White. And look, a healthier O-line can just be fantasy gold. Now we're going to switch on to the wide receivers, and I just want you to check the availability for Wan'Dale Robinson. And just going to go for Darius Slayton too, who's going to be more than likely available throughout all leagues. The thing is, Malik Neighbors is out, and we already seen the production from Wan'Dale Robinson. This might be a little different. It's not going to be Russell Wilson throwing the long balls and the moon balls anymore. But still, Wan'Dale Robinson can just be this type of guy to just start cutting it up again. And I'm going to say it again, for the Giants, this energy has shifted. This Jackson Dart season, he's a real captain. He's ready to start steering this ship. Daniel Jones, no. Russell Wilson, no. They didn't really have this New York style in them. So a crazy game against the Cowboys, whatever, right? Beating a 3-0 Chargers, that's aura. That's swagger. That's something different. That's saying something different completely. They might not win a lot of games, but I'm telling you, they're going to surprise a lot of people, just like what the Knicks did, right? It's two different sports, but look, they brought so much hope to that organization that this can happen with the Giants. Their entire division has gone through a rebuild. The Cowboys, the Commanders, Eagles. Now it's the Giants' turn, man. This is something new for them, and they're going to run with this. Going back to the Wan'Dale and the Darius Slayton, they can be key pieces to this offense while they're going to keep playing football and just bringing on the swagger that they got. The next wide receiver we're going to talk about is Romeo Doubs, man, because he is the true number one wide receiver for Jordan Love. He currently has 4 touchdowns on the year, matching his count from last year. And look, he's a boom or bust, but he has obviously some big booms. And with Jordan Love and the Packers, it's just a wide receiver carousel. And look, I've been banging the drum hard for Matthew Golden to break out, and that hasn't happened. So there's just, with Romeo Doubs, this feels very similar to the Quentin Johnston situation right now. He's the wide receiver 1 for this team, and you got to go and get him. Maybe Romeo Doubs got it clicking, and he's got something going on with Jordan Love. He's getting the touchdowns. He's getting the routes. He's becoming that guy there. Another wide receiver we're going to talk about is Elic Ayomanor, because the Titans are a hot mess, and it's not looking good, right? But he has been the wide receiver 1 through the 3 games, and I keep repeating myself about this whole wide receiver 1 usage because it means more looks, means more opportunities, means more fantasy points. The Titans are getting micromanaged like any other company in America right now. So when the head coach is getting hot at reporters, you know it's bad. So this is a long-term play, but Ayomanor has been on everyone's radar lately, talking about, oh, he's a stash player. But look, he's playable, and he's a great player to have on your bench because, look, he's getting a lot of touchdown potentials. He's getting so many looks there. Is that, look, if you need a fresh start, a new look, Elic Ayomanor is your guy. All right, my last wide receiver we're going to talk about is Malik Washington. So prayers up to Tyreek Hill, but honestly, he looked pretty happy on that cart. But back to Malik Washington. Somebody needs to step up and be the wide receiver 2 for this team, and he's a dual threat. They utilize him out the back a lot, so maybe they can switch between him and Devon Achane. He doesn't really fit the wide receiver 1 narrative that I've been talking about, but still, he has climbed the depth chart. So keep your eyes on Malik Washington, and maybe he can fill in that Tyreek Hill role, or just, start getting more acclimated to this offense. Now we're going to talk about our tight ends. And the first one we're going to talk about is Darren Waller. Yes, I'm going to stick with the same team, but Tyreek Hill goes down, and then 2 of his targets go for touchdowns. I mean, he's going to be looked at the end zone quite a lot, and the target share is only going to go up from here. So Darren Waller is a baller. Darren Waller is a baller. So my next tight end is going to be Dallas Goedert. Look, he's the main beneficiary of the Hurts touchdown. The passing game isn't a hot topic for the Eagles, but, Goddard possesses high volume targets, so he's just someone that you should just stick on your roster. I mean, if you've been going through the carousel after losing George Kittle or just not getting rewarded with Sam Laporta, there's other options out there. And Dallas Goedert, he's been that guy getting you points. We're going to get to the quarterback section now. We're going to talk about Matthew Stafford. And look, Matthew Stafford is elite, and he's going to be a future Hall of Famer. And he's been attached to these amazing wide receivers and just stacking up these accolades with them. And this next matchup is against the Niners on Thursday Night Football. Puka and Stafford they're going to break fantasy. My next quarterback is Bryce Young. And, taking on the Dolphins. Bryce Young is a perfect streamer for this matchup. It should just be juicy. Tedero McMillan and Bryce Young connection is only going to get stronger as they keep going on and build this rapport with each other. And I feel like this is to me heat check type of game where they just get everything back on track. And same quarterback in that same game is going to be Tua Tagovailoa. Same thing, man. They're going to have to re-identify who they are as the Dolphins, and he's going to have to take the lead, man. They can't just trust on Tyreek Hill anymore. Maybe that'll be a burden off his shoulders, and he can use Jalen Waddle, Darren Waller, Malik Washington. It's just Devon Achane. He has a lot of options there, and he can thrive. It's just we need to see that Tua. We haven't seen it in a while. This can be a boom game for him. And that was my first waiver wire episode, and I just wanted to key in waiver wires is very important. I call them power moves. I usually make the most moves in all my leagues. You want to jump on, the hype and hit the next breakout. Usually that's my strategy to win, and I want to provide you winning strategies to win your fantasy football league. That's what we want to do here. We want to chill, have fun, win some fantasy football, and yeah, let's chop it up again, man. If y'all like this, if y'all like the waiver wire, if y'all like me talking about some waiver wire pickups that everyone else is talking about, like, comment, subscribe, share. Let's chop it up and let's kick it, yo. I'm out. Peace.